You know, when you think about plumbing, you probably picture something simple, right? A slow drain, a dripping faucet. But what if I told you that inside the walls of your home and deep beneath your feet, there's a constant, invisible war being waged? Today, we're going to dive into that hidden battle, the fight between our homes and the environment, using a coastal city as our prime example.
So let's really dig into that question, because it's at the heart of everything we're talking about today. It's so easy to blame old age when pipes fail. But what you're about to see is that in a lot of places, the real culprits are these silent environmental forces attacking your home's entire circulatory system every single day.
So who are these invisible enemies? Well, if you take a coastal city like Aventura, Florida, properties there face this really unique combination of threats. We're going to break down the three main attackers that can turn a beautiful seaside spot into a total plumbing battlefield.
First up, believe it or not, is the air itself. You know that amazing, salty, humid sea breeze that everybody loves? Well, it turns out it is incredibly aggressive when it comes to metal. It just supercharges corrosion, causing chrome fixtures to get all pitted and copper pipes to spring these tiny pinhole leaks. And this gets even worse in high-rise condos that are right on the water.
Next, the attack comes from below. See, South Florida's geology is mostly porous limestone with a really high water table. That means the ground itself isn't perfectly stable. Even these tiny, subtle shifts put a ton of physical stress on the rigid pipes buried underground, which can lead to cracks, and those cracks are a perfect invitation for tree roots to invade.
And finally, you've got an assault happening from the inside. The local water is considered hard, which just means it's packed with dissolved minerals. This buildup, called scale, is basically like cholesterol for your home's arteries. It slowly chokes off the water flow, it forces your water heater to work way harder, and eventually it just destroys these appliances from the inside out.
So here's the kicker. These aren't just isolated problems. No, it's a multi-front war. You've got corrosion from the salty air on the outside, you've got mineral buildup clogging from the inside, and you've got stress from the shifting ground below. Now throw in the fact that a lot of the buildings are from that 80s and 90s boom, so the pipes are getting old anyway, and oh yeah, the constant threat of hurricanes, and you have created the absolute perfect storm for plumbing nightmares.
Okay, so we know the attackers, but how do you even know if your home is losing this war? The signs aren't always some dramatic flood in your living room. A lot of the time, they're just these small, everyday annoyances that are actually trying to tell you something. Let's look at the specific warning signs that mean your home's defenses might be crumbling.
And what's really fascinating here is how directly these everyday problems link right back to our environmental attackers. That low water pressure that drives you crazy in the shower, that's often your pipes being slowly choked by corrosion. Seeing discolored water, that's a classic sign of rust coming from old galvanized pipes. And those sewer backups could easily be tree roots invading the pipes that were cracked by shifting soil. See? It all connects.
Let's just zoom in on low water pressure for a second. It is so easy to just ignore it and get used to it, but you really shouldn't. It's a critical warning sign. It could mean your pipes are so clogged up on the inside that water can barely squeeze through, or, and this is the scary part, it could signal a crack in a supply line deep underground, a leak you can't even see, just quietly wasting water and your money.
And check this out. This quote really brings home the real-world cost of all this. An 8 to 12-year lifespan for a huge appliance like a water heater, that is way shorter than in other parts of the country. And it's almost entirely because of that destructive mineral buildup from the hard water we were just talking about. It's literally eating them from the inside.
Okay, so I know this all sounds pretty grim, right? But don't worry, there is a modern line of defense. Fighting back against these environmental forces takes more than just a plunger and a wrench. It requires a very specific, professional playbook that's designed for this unique battlefield.
So, what's a pro's secret weapon? Well, it really boils down to three key things. First, they have deep knowledge of all the complex local building codes, including those specific rules for hurricanes. Second, they have advanced diagnostic tech, like tiny sewer cameras that can see the problem without having to tear up your entire floor. And third, a rapid 24/7 response team, because let's be honest, a burst pipe can't wait until Monday morning.
400 plus. Let that number sink in for a second. That's how many common parts a pro might have stocked on their service vehicle. Think about that. It's not just about having the right tool, it's about having the exact right valve or fitting or component right there on the spot. That's what allows them to fix the problem in a single visit, which, in an emergency, is everything. And let's be real, dealing with a plumbing emergency is stressful enough. The process of getting it fixed shouldn't add to that. A truly professional approach is all about clear communication every step of the way. From that first call where you actually talk to a live person to getting a clear, upfront price before any work begins, the whole goal is to eliminate surprises and just get the problem solved.
So knowing about the enemy and the professional playbook, that's half the battle. But here's the thing. As a property owner, you're not just a bystander in this fight. You have a role to play too. And being informed can literally save you thousands of dollars and a whole lot of headaches.
For example, if you're ever facing a major job like repiping your whole house, your choice of material is key. This is a perfect example of fighting back with modern technology. Materials like PEX piping are specifically engineered to resist that mineral buildup from hard water and the corrosion that just plagues metal pipes in a salty environment. It's a strategic choice in this ongoing war.
And here is some seriously practical advice on how not to get taken for a ride. When you're hiring help, you're looking for transparency and professionalism. A real pro will be happy to give you their license number and an itemized estimate. You should be really wary of anyone who demands a huge cash deposit up front or, and this is a big one, suggests skipping the required permits to save money. That is a massive red flag.
And nobody likes surprise costs, right? So being prepared also means knowing about some of these potential hidden costs. Things like permit fees, or the cost to get rid of an old water heater, or maybe extra labor because they have to jackhammer a concrete slab to get to a pipe. Knowing these are possibilities makes you a way smarter consumer and helps you budget for the real cost of a repair.
So when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway here? It's this. Your home's plumbing isn't some passive, static network of pipes that just sits there. It's an active system. It is a front line that is under constant siege from the local environment, whether that's the air you breathe, the ground you walk on, or the very water that flows through it.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought. We've seen the attackers, we've seen the warning signs, and we've seen the modern defenses. So the real question you should be asking yourself is this. In this constant, invisible battle between your home and its environment, is your plumbing actually built to win?